evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to this evening's quarterfinals debate. My name is Brianna and I'm the chairman of this debate. The timekeeper is Arid Rizi Yusufa. This debate will be judged by a panel of 3 adjudicators, who are Miss Zavo, Miss Gowding and Miss Boyd Turner. The topic of this debate is that there should be external doors on all toilets at school. The affirmative team seated to my right is Mitcham Girls High. The negative team seated to my left is Glenunga International High School. The speaking time for this debate is 4 minutes. A single warning bell will sound 1 minute before the speaking time, and a double bell will sound at the speaking time. Please ensure that your mobile phones are switched off. I declare this debate open and call upon the first affirmative speaker, Chrisella.
Good afternoon, Madam Chairman, ladies and gentlemen. The topic for our debate is that there should be external doors on all toilets at school. We define the topic as external doors referring to the outside door that leads into the bathroom on all toilets within school premises in Australia. We, the affirmative team, believe that this statement is true. Today, as first speaker, I will be talking to you about how it makes children uncomfortable to go to the bathroom and may cause health issues, and that gender-neutral bathrooms can be achieved in other ways. Our second speaker will be talking about how removing external doors will make children feel uneasy and like their privacy is being invaded, and there are other solutions to issues schools are trying to solve by removing the external door. Our third speaker will rebut and sum up our team's case. I'm going to discuss 2 points. My first point is that it makes students uncomfortable to go to the bathroom and may cause health issues. This is due to discomfort in using the toilet without an external door, as people can hear and see inside the bathrooms. Students will hold on throughout the day, which may cause many health issues. According to studyfinds.org, 2 in 3 people hold it instead of going to the bathroom as they feel uncomfortable going to the bathroom in a public place. Taking the external doors off the toilets would make the statistic worse. Dehydration is one of many health issues that may occur if they avoid going to the bathroom. Students will not drink water and get dehydrated. As stated in the advertiser, a mother with 2 children at Modbury High School has said that students held on instead of going to the toilet for such long periods of time that it caused urinary tract infections. This shows that if children prefer to avoid going to the bathroom, they most definitely will. MayoClinic.org states that dehydration can lead to kidney stones, kidney failure, seizures, hypovolemic shock, and heat stroke. Would you really want your child to feel uncomfortable going to the bathroom? How would you feel if the external doors of your workplace bathrooms got removed? A school should not be treated any differently from any other workplace. Now to my second point. Gender-neutral bathrooms can be achieved in other ways. Removing the external door, was a way to create gender-neutral bathrooms at Golden Grove High School. This is uncanny, as removing the external door does not mean it is gender-neutral. And although the doors were removed at Golden Grove High School, there are still signs saying girls only or boys only above the entrance of the bathrooms. And there are other alternatives, such as a bathroom with floor-to-ceiling individual stalls for anyone to use, or making a completely different bathroom with individual stalls and sinks inside them labeled gender-neutral or all genders. As you can see, these are 2 creative ways to create gender-neutral bathrooms and are still effective, and children can get the privacy they need. So, if there's a solution for all genders to feel comfortable to use the bathroom, why are we using the one way that isn't as effective and makes children feel uneasy? So, Madam Chairman, ladies and gentlemen, in conclusion, there should definitely be external doors on all toilets at school as it makes children uncomfortable and can cause health issues. And there are other more effective ways to create gender-neutral bathrooms. Thanks.
Okay.
I now call upon the first negative speaker, Jordan Mason.
Good evening, Madam Chairman, ladies and gentlemen. Tonight's debate topic is that there should be external doors on all school toilets. As the negative team, we strongly disagree with this statement and agree with the affirmative team's definition of tonight's topic. This evening, I will discuss how removing external toilet doors decreases student code of conduct violations, which improves student outcomes. Additionally, removal of doors discourages vandalism, reducing repair and restoration costs, and allowing money to be redirected towards other aspects of education. Our second speaker will be presenting the argument that the removal of exterior doors reduces opportunity for antisocial behaviour and in-person bullying. He will also contend that schools would be more inclusive places for all students with the removal of these doors. Finally, our third speaker will skillfully rebut and sum up our team's case. I would now like to highlight some flaws in the affirmative team's statements. The first affirmative speaker argued that health problems will arise in children as they hold in their excrement all day. Whilst this may be true, there is no true evidence that removal of toilet doors correlates with increased incidence of toilet anxiety. Researchers from spacesforlearning.com shows that fear of bullying, dirty and vandalised areas could be just as likely to cause students to not want to use facilities, and removal of external doors to toilet areas has been shown to reduce these problems. To my first point, removing external toilet doors on all school toilets will decrease student code of conduct violations and improve student outcomes. In recent times, many schools have seen an increase in the number of student code of conduct violations through the growing trend of vaping. According to a study published in the Australian and New Zealand Journal of Public Health, more than 70% of secondary school teachers found an increase in vaping among students, the most common area for regular vaping being bathrooms. This year in South Australia alone, the Education Department has revealed that 350 suspensions have been issued for vaping in these toilets. Schools and teachers have a duty of care which includes supervising students. Thus, a clear solution to this issue is removing exterior bathroom doors. According to thegraphic.org, Amherst Regional High School has been successful in reducing vaping and other student code of conduct violations by doing just this. The principal recently informed faculty that after taking off external doors, almost immediately, the problems of vaping had ceased. Consequently, he said that student safety had also improved. I shall now proceed to my second point. By removing external doors, vandalism will be reduced, allowing associated repair and restoration costs to be used for other educational purposes. Each year in Australia, schools are increasingly wasting exorbitant amounts of money to fix vandalism. In fact, an article by News Corp Australia stated that vandals are causing more than 120,000 damage to Western Australian schools each week, enough to pay another 90 teachers a year. What's more, the Advertiser reported that here in South Australia, Golden Grove High School is spending $20,000 a year to fix vandalism in their bathrooms. For the record, $20,000 is approximately equivalent to a term's wage for an experienced teacher. As a result, many schools have been left with no choice but to remove external doors from bathrooms. This decision has even been supported by the Australian Education Union President, who says, "Who can blame a principal who uses every necessary tactic desperate to stem hemorrhaging repair costs that comprise a school's capacity to support its high achievers. Right now, every dollar spent on public education counts. So isn't it clear that the money saved on repairs could be put to better use on our very own students' education? Thus, Madam Chairman, ladies and gentlemen, we, the negative team, strongly believe that there should not be external doors on all school toilets, as there will be less student of code of conduct violations with improved student outcomes, and less vandalism resulting in reduced repair and restoration costs, enabling money to be better spent within public education. Thank you for listening.
Okay.
I call upon the second affirmative speaker, Luka Zielinski.
Good evening, Madam Chairman, ladies and gentlemen. The topic for our debate is that there should be external doors on all toilets at school. We, as the affirmative team, undoubtedly agree with this statement. The first speaker from the negative team has tried to tell you that the removal of external doors is reducing vandalism and vaping within schools. This is wrong, because whilst action definitely needs to be taken against the students' misbehaviour, it can be done in much more effective, efficient and private ways. An example of an alternative action is installing cameras in the hallway outside of school toilets, as any inappropriate behaviour can be documented and dealt with without actually having cameras viewing inside the bathrooms and therefore not invading the students' personal space. Our first speaker has already explained how removing the external toilet doors is not the only way to create gender-neutral bathrooms, as well as how it makes children uncomfortable to go into the bathrooms. Today, I will be talking to you about 2 points. My first point is that removing external doors from bathrooms will make students feel uneasy and like their privacy is being invaded when they are going to the toilet. The reason for this is that everyone, teachers and students, can see directly into the bathrooms, and although they are not able to see into the individual stalls, it will still impact a student's sense of privacy. In the male bathrooms at Modbury High School, for example, you can see directly into the male urinals from the corridor, meaning that people can see students using the urinal, which we believe is an absolute breach of privacy and will strongly discourage children from going to the toilet in the first place. It is also unpleasant for those going about their school business, as they don't want to see someone going to the toilet on their way to class. In an article from the Daily Mail Australia in May last year, one parent was quoted to saying her children no longer felt safe and that their privacy had been compromised because students and teachers walking past can see the cubicles. Upon this, doors do not have to be removed entirely. They can just be left open at different points in time, but if need be, can be closed if students wish for privacy and for many other reasons. Now to my second point. There are other equally effective alternative solutions to the problems that schools are trying to solve by removing external doors. One of the main reasons that external bathroom doors are being removed is so that teachers can keep an eye on students and supervise them using the toilets to make sure they aren't misbehaving. Some students do misbehave in bathrooms, but there are other ways to prevent it, over removing the doors and stripping students of their privacy. This blanket rule of removing the external doors doesn't acknowledge the diversity of schools' experiences and instead punishes everyone for the actions of the minority. What needs to be understood about this topic is that every school is extremely unique, and this would not be an appropriate rule for every school in South Australia, or even Australia for that matter, to implement. In an interview conducted with a former teacher at Golden Grove, it was revealed that removing external doors was a final step towards combating adverse behaviours in the toilet, and therefore should not be considered as the standard protocol for all sites. As well as this, there is a perfect alternative solution to the external door removal, which is cameras outside the bathroom in the hallway. As you are able to see when children go into bathrooms in groups or come out injured, etc., without invading their privacy, because cameras will not actually be able to see into the toilets themselves. Cameras will absolutely not be able to see into the bathrooms, only the hallways outside, so that students' privacy is not being invaded while still acting as a deterrent for any student misbehaviour. So, Madam Chairman, ladies and gentlemen, in conclusion, external doors absolutely must not be removed from school bathrooms. There are many other alternatives to removing the external doors completely that are much more suitable. So why would schools continue to remove the external doors at the expense of students' severe discomfort? Thank you for listening.
Okay.
I call upon the second negative speaker, Callan Mason.
Good evening, Madam Chairman, ladies and gentlemen. Tonight's debate topic is that there should be external doors on all school toilets. As the negative team, we strongly disagree with this statement. As the second speaker, I shall be presenting the argument that antisocial behaviours such as harassment and bullying typically take place behind closed doors. I will also be discussing how having no external doors on toilets can reduce the perpetuation of stereotypical beliefs and divisiveness in schools. I shall now point out some flaws in the opposition statements. The second affirmative speaker argued that there should be external doors on all school toilets as moving them reduces privacy. This is in fact false, as even when the external doors are removed, people will still have privacy that they need behind the cubicle doors. If there is no door on the restroom, a teacher standing in the hallway will be alerted when something occurs that shouldn't be. As a result of this, student code of conduct violations will be decreased, improving student outcomes. I'm sure we'd all be familiar with the story that has been shared for generations with new high school students. As a part of so-called initiation to high school ritual, new students are told that they will receive a whirly from an older student, involving their head being flushed upside down in a toilet. A rather unpleasant prospect. Of course, we all know from experience that this is just an urban myth. However, data gathered from the Australian government's longitudinal study of Australian children in 2016 found that 46% of students do in fact experience bullying at school. That is nearly half of all students. Furthermore, according to the website athealth.com, the most likely places for such bullying to occur are in areas that are less visible to teachers, such as the toilet blocks. Adolescents from urban, suburban and rural areas were all equally likely to get bullied, according to the National Institute of Child Health and Human Development survey. Although youth from suburban areas were somewhat less likely and youth from rural areas were slightly more likely than the national average to bully others. Bullying typically occurs more frequently in and around schools than in any other location, especially in places like the student bathrooms where there is little to no adult supervision. A conspicuous solution to this would be removing external toilet doors where one can continue using individual cubicles with privacy, but common areas for hand washing are less likely to be hotspots for gathering and ganging up behind closed doors. Whilst there are undoubtedly a variety of other strategies for addressing bullying in schools, we contend that the removal of external doors on toilets could significantly reduce both the perception and the experience of toilet blocks as being safe havens from bullying. I shall now proceed to my second point. One South Australian high school, Golden Grove, has removed external toilet doors and also made toilet blocks unisex spaces for the purpose of creating a more inclusive school space and environment for all students, no matter their identity or gender. Creating multi-gender bathrooms or unisex bathrooms with no external doors further reduces the potential for in-person bullying by students of the same gender. According to the website verywellfamily.com, research shows that individuals of the same gender are more likely to bully another person of their own gender. By creating unisex toilets and removing exterior doors further reduces the potential for bullying and sends a strong message that schools are inclusive spaces in which discrimination or division of people on the basis of sex or gender are no longer acceptable. So in conclusion, Madam Chairman, ladies and gentlemen, we strongly disagree with the topic that there should be external doors on all school toilets, because toilets are renowned havens for bullying, and the removal of external doors will also go some way to making schools more inclusive places. Thank you for listening.
now call upon the third affirmative speaker, Azalea Chambers.
Good afternoon, Madam Chairman, ladies and gentlemen. The topic for our debate is that there should be external doors on all toilets at school. We, the affirmative team, undoubtedly agree with this statement. The first negative speaker has attempted to tell you that it decreases the student code of conduct. Although this may be true, it strips the majority of privacy for the minority's actions. In fact, a poll run by the Australian Advertiser shows that 91% of the 1,172 respondents think the Education Department is crazy for removing the existing external toilet doors. Additionally, vape detectors can be used to prevent students from vaping. The Australian Medical Association of New South Wales have stated that teachers believe locking toilet doors during class time was a successful way of reducing kids from vaping, and in doing this, kids don't feel stressed about teachers or other students being able to view into the bathrooms. He additionally rebutted that there is no true evidence that this stops this is bad. Not only are there a multitude of quotes with one mother stating that her son attending Golden Grove had stopped going to the bathroom during school. Also, 2 in 3 people hold it in currently, with this statistic only being encouraged further if external doors are removed. The second negative speaker stated that bullying occurs in bathrooms more often than not. There are a plethora of other solutions, varying from cameras placed outside the bathrooms, and although privacy is given through the individual doors, that is where the level of privacy ends. In male bathrooms, urinals are have a full view from the hallways, which is a severe breach of privacy. Upon this, the sounds and smells of the bathroom spread beyond the toilets into the rest of the school, which is uncomfortable, for both the students using the toilets and the others out in the corridor. The second negative speaker tried to tell you that antisocial behaviour takes place in the bathrooms. And this may be true, but this can still take place inside the cubicles if it's bullying that we're trying to talk about. Females, males, and other gendered people would feel safer. Wouldn't they feel safer having their own toilet? Me as a female would not want to be in the same toilet or even go in the same toilet as a male would have been or could be. Our first speaker explained that removing external doors makes children uncomfortable when going to the toilet, as they hold it in to prevent embarrassment. This is because other students can see them, hear them, and occasionally smell them. Another point of hers is that gender-neutral bathrooms can be achieved in other ways. This was one of the publicised reasons the doors were taken off of bathrooms at Golden Grove High School, but it is simply unreasonable with no other alterations to the bathrooms, such as floor-to-ceiling cubicles, to yet again increase privacy. Our second speaker stated that having external doors removed from bathrooms will make students feel uneasy and invade their privacy. This is due to the number of people walking past and the easily perceivable urinals and bathrooms. At Mulberry High School, for example, there is a clear view into these urinals. If there hasn't been a previous design preventing a view into bathrooms, taking external doors off said bathrooms is deplorable and invasive. She also explained that there are multiple other solutions to these issues, varying from smoke detectors and external cameras. Simply placing these cameras outside the bathrooms so that you can see who goes in when, if someone comes out injured, or if there are groups of people going in together commonly, can make such a difference. In conclusion, Madam Chairman, ladies and gentlemen, it is imperative that external doors are kept on bathrooms. Innocent students do not deserve to have their privacy unreasonably stripped from them. The core issues are caused by the minority, not the majority. It isn't right to make children even more uncomfortable when going to the bathroom. If 2 in 3 people already hold it in, the removal of external doors only encourages this statistic. Is this really what we want for South Australian students? Thank you.
I now call upon the third negative speaker, Ishan Flotter.
Good evening, Madam Chairman, ladies and gentlemen. Tonight's debate topic is that there should be external doors on all toilets at school. We, the negative team, are in definite disagreement with this statement. As the third speaker, I will rebut and summarise our team's case. To begin with, I would like to point out some flaws in the opposition team's arguments. The first affirmative speaker argued that health problems will arise in children as they hold in their excrement all day. Although this may be the case, there is no real proof that the removal of toilet doors is associated with a rise in cases of toilet anxiety. Removal of external doors from restrooms has been demonstrated to lessen these issues. Research from spacesforlearning.com displays fear of bullying, unclean and vandalized toilet areas may also discourage people from using facilities. The second affirmative speaker argued that a better alternative solution to removing external doors on school toilets is placing cameras in the corridors outside the toilet. Whilst this may allow staff to notice any injuries to students, they will be unable to detect vaping. Therefore, removing external doors is a much more effective solution to curb the spread of vaping among students. The third affirmative speaker argued that by removing external doors from toilets, an odour will be emitted into the surrounding areas of the toilets, embarrassing them. Whilst this point may be partially correct, this problem can be easily solved by having regular cleaning practices performed on the bathrooms to avoid the smell, or by simply purchasing an air freshener, which comes for an extremely low cost of $4 to $10 on average. This solution is not only easy and affordable, but hygienically beneficial, especially considering the current world situation and the global pandemic. Our first speaker, Jordan, elucidated that the removal of external doors on school toilets is advantageous as it dramatically reduces the amount of student code of conduct violations. Vaping in particular has been slowly poisoning the South Australian educational system. Just this year alone, hundreds of students have been suspended for vaping in school bathrooms, but the figure pales in comparison to the amount of students who vape discreetly. The sobering reality is that, according to adf.org.au, over 14% of students between the ages of 12 and 17 have tried vaping, and this figure will only increase from here if external doors on all school toilets aren't removed. Our first speaker also explained that there are extreme amounts of vandalism occurring in school bathrooms, costing the government and the taxpayer a small fortune. This rate has also been on the rise and is now reaching a tipping point as valuable and scarce resources are being used to fix a problem that shouldn't have been an issue in the first place. The precarious economic state Australia is already in continues to deteriorate, and this unnecessary pressure on the nation's financial woes may potentially have detrimental long-term impacts. Our second speaker, Kaylin, elucidated that the removal of external doors on school toilets is beneficial because it reduces the marginalisation and mistreatment of students by substantially reducing the amount of in-person bullying taking place in school toilets, as it is far less likely for an individual to bully someone of the opposite gender. They also explained that removing external doors on toilets makes them more inclusive and decreases the perpetuation of divisive and stereotypical beliefs that indicate that there should be a separation between male, female and non-gendered pupils. So, Madam Chairman, ladies and gentlemen, in conclusion, there should not be external doors on all school toilets because they increase the amount of vaping among students, worsen the Australian economic situation by adding additional financial stress, increase in-person bullying, and perpetuate stereotypical and divisive beliefs that are indicative of a barrier of separation between male, female, and non-gendered pupils. Thank you.
While the adjudicators finalise the result, I will read the evening's chairman notices. 1. We are delighted to announce that the grand finals will be held in the House of Assembly Chamber, Parliament House, on Saturday 24th of September 2022. 2. Year 10 and Senior, that's not us. 3. Topic and side information for the semi-finals will be available on the Debating Essay website from tomorrow morning. Please be sure to check your side and debate time information carefully. Debates will be held here at the same time venue next week. That's it.
We are going to duck outside to decide the speaker of the night. We'll be back in.
This cause children to hold in their excitement.
Oh no, yeah. I'll get up and I'll give it back to you. We really are. We really are.
I invite a representative of the adjudication panel to come forward to announce the result.
Okay. Hello everyone. So as you can see, tonight's debate has been adjudicated by 3 separate adjudicators. This means you will not be receiving any feedback from tonight. But first of all, I would like to, on behalf of myself, debating say, and my other adjudicators, first congratulate you all for making it to quarterfinals. It is a massive achievement and you should all be very proud of yourselves. So once again, congratulations. Before I announce the winner of tonight's debate, I will be announcing our speaker of the night. So tonight's speaker of the night is someone we thought really began their team's case right strongly and did a great job, and that is the first affirmative John. So for tonight's debate, our decision was unanimous, meaning all 3 adjudicators agreed, and tonight's debate does go to the negative team. So once again, congratulations, and we wish all of you the best of luck.
I call upon a member of the runner-up team to give a vote of thanks.
We'd like to thank Nazareth College for holding this debate tonight. All of you for coming out, all 3 of you adjudicators, thank you so much, and thank you for a great debate.
I call upon a member of the winning team to second that vote of thanks.
We'd like to thank Nazareth for holding this debate and also the wonderful adjudicators, timekeeper and chairperson for doing a spectacular job. We are humble and grateful in this victory as our opposition put up a really good debate against us. We would also like to thank our caregivers for being able to take us to this opportunity to debate.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for your attendance. I now declare this debate closed.